This is a story about an African woman who saved the village of Nnya with a tight hug. This village hero is called Bubi Kubwa. She has a really pleasing appearance with focus on her chest area. She is so magnetic to both men and women, especially the men. The only problem is when she hugs someone, her breasts squeeze their face and her strong hands hold so tight out of affection, which then brings suffocating and eventually death. The village rule was simple: don't get too close to her. Bubi was an outcast. She unfortunately killed her last 7 husbands on their wedding day. She never intended to do so. She is just very emotional and loves to hug like any other woman. But her chest is just too strong for any man to handle. Oh, one thing about Bubi Kubwa, she was very rich. Her father left her with a lot of wealth. Even though she was an outcast, in her exile she was able to build her own empire due to her immense wealth. All she wanted was a man to love her, care for her, and start a family so she could continue her family legacy. As time went by, things started to go bad. The village she used to live was hit with a wave of poverty and starvation. Bubi was the only person to save the village. This is because, due to her immense wealth, she had everything from cattle, food crops, and even clean water. She had single-handedly dug her own lake. Oh yes, she was very strong and hard-working. In order to help, she had only one condition. She needed a man to marry her. Only and only then could she share her wealth with the village. As much as the village needed her help, every man was scared of what would happen if they got close to her chest. It got to the point women started to volunteer and force their husbands to marry Bubi Kubwa. The situation was so intense, women forgotten about jealousy. In fact, the women were willing to give up their own young sons to Bubi. One day, a very strong brick-faced tyrant showed up. He was called Bulooka Mutwe. Now Bulooka was going around raiding and conquering villages. He wanted a wife. Bulooka wanted a wife, but unfortunately, all the women that he got would end up running away from him. They claimed he had too much love, and this love so strong, it was suffocating them. Now, as you can tell, Bulooka was very depressed. He made it a mission to find a wife by any means. This time, when he got a woman, he would carry her everywhere he went, whether in the bathroom, toilet, hunting, party, and even his grave. He was not planning on letting her go, even after he had passed away. So he went destroying civilizations, village after village, leaving them without women, or sometimes destroying everything and everyone in pursuit of a worthy wife. One thing you need to know about Bulooka: he was a very sweet man, but his deserting wives made him a bitter man. Don't be fooled by his physique and mean face. There's a sweet soul inside him. When he came to the village of Nnya, the first thing he destroyed was the soldiers, and he did it with ease. To avoid any further confrontation from the remaining soldiers, he slapped a very big tree to the ground. This scared all the soldiers and villagers who were ready to fight him. After getting their attention, he told all men to hand over their wives, sisters, and daughters before he could kill anyone else. Amidst this terrifying moment, one of the villagers got an idea. He remembered Bubi Kubwa and thought of sending this monster to Bubi, the only woman who could kill a man with one hug. He collected his last strength and cried out to Bulooka in a loud voice, "Almighty Brickface, we have heard of your immense strength. We know you long for the perfect woman. What if I could show you this woman? Would you spare us?" Bulooka was very thrilled, had never heard of such an offer. Very interested, he promised to leave everyone unharmed if the villager showed him this perfect woman. At this moment, the villager asked him to wait as he ran to Bubi's empire. He ran as fast as he could, crying, "Bubi, Bubi, where are you?" Upon arrival, he fell on his face just right on her feet and cried out to Bubi while panting from all that running. "Oh, mighty lady, the most beautiful breast in the land, the gods have answered your prayers. Please come meet your long-awaited man. He has all the things you need." Bubi burst out with a loud laugh, but the laugh was full of anger. Then she said to him, "What on earth can he have that I don't? I have all the wealth in the world. I don't need a rich man." The villager interrupted and said, "Oh, most beautiful breast, this man doesn't care about earthly things. He only wants a woman that can handle the love he carries. Women have died from this love. It's too much for them. I know only one woman who can handle such love. Might breast, you are the only woman that can handle him." Bubi stared at him with a strong eye and asked the villager, "What makes you think I won't die from this love? You know I still want to live." The villager said to her, "Oh, most breast lady, the love you have has killed so many men. The reason is only because you have been meeting weak men. This is the same thing happening to the strong man. I hate to see you alone. I am not worthy of your love, but this man is so." Bubi was convinced and went on to meet this brick-faced man. She set herself up and started their journey back to the village. Upon arrival, they met the giant man running out of patience. Bulooka saw them and stomped the ground with his right foot, clenched his fist and hit his chest while biting his jaws as if he was chewing on sedimentary rocks. The people of the village were so scared they had no option but watch, wait and hope for miracle. Things were not looking good for the Nnya citizens, but to everyone's surprise, Brickface was taken away by her beauty. It seems he wasn't stomping his feet and pounding his chest out of anger. Poor giant was mesmerized. He couldn't believe his eyes, so he quickly ran towards Bubi, pushed away the villager that had brought her into a wall far 10 meters from their standing point. He had such a force while running that he left a nearby tree leafless. No wonder his former wives ran away. Bubi was very nervous. She didn't know what to expect as she saw a huge man running to his death. Since she had seen many men lose their lives to her strong embrace, she stood straight and said to herself, "Good God, if this is my man, he will survive. If he is not, I give up on love." Bulooka finally got in physical contact with Bubi, everyone else watching anxiously, some stretching their eyes, necks and even ears caught up in the moment as if Judgment Day. He firmly grabbed her hand as if he was trying to kidnap her. Remember, Bulooka is not a lover boy, he is a warrior, so he has a lot of aggression in his lifestyle from how he talks and handles things and people. So he grabbed her hand and then stared eyes wide into her eyes, but she didn't flinch.
This shocked Bulooka. He was very impressed. He has a very strong grip, or you can say he is a rough man, but it's like she wasn't feeling any irritation from his warrior-like hands. Bubi locked eyes with him like two fighters about to start a war. I want you to note this was no longer scary but very, very weird and confusing to everyone around. It's like they had disappeared from the scene. Two people, one an outcast and the other who'd just taken down the whole security of the village a few moments ago. Besides, he had destroyed villages like he was avenging someone or a nation. Anyway, Bubi was very impressed with his brick face. He wasn't like these other pretty boys with very lean bodies and attractive features and voices. Bulooka was all muscle and toughness. He had nothing beautiful on him, which means she could keep him to herself. And on the other hand, Bubi was exceptionally beautiful with enormous big chest, something Bulooka could not get over. Her track record of destroying men who came close to her made him comfortable and assured that he will never have to worry about anyone tampering with his yet-to-be wife.
She gave him a hug. This is the moment everyone was waiting for. This was the defining moment. The villagers opened their eyes. They opened their eyes and mouths so wide an old man had a tooth pop out because of anxiety. She hugged him tight and tighter till she hugged him tightest. Bulooka must have been the man she was always praying for because he was still alive and smiling, his teeth out like a goat on heat. He told her, "I have never met a woman with strong arms like you. I could feel your chest pushing my chest inside it." It seems Bulooka didn't only find a beautiful woman, but he found a strong woman too. All the villagers of Mbuzi were amazed at what they were seeing. They did not need any extra instructions. They started rejoicing and dancing, elders and children, even some of the serving wounded soldiers too. She attempted to hug him more and more in all different angles and styles, to the point the ground got a big crack from the extreme hugging power. Bulooka, out of excitement, carried her and threw her to the air, juggled her like it was a circus, and even carried her on one hand. Very happy, he spared the villagers' lives and asked for forgiveness. The village proposed to arrange the marriage for the two. That evening, Bubi welcomed the whole village to her empire for the wedding. She decided to save the village from hunger, and she shared some of her livestock with the village and provided clean water to the village as well. Time passed, and the merciless warrior was no more. He had become a very decent lover boy living with his beautiful wife. Everything was fine ever since then, apart from one thing. Whenever Bulooka and his wife Bubi made love, they caused earthquakes and made changes to the weather.